Well, we're very fortunate to have with us Helle-Vibeke Pedersen, who's the Innovation Manager in the Danish Ministry of Taxation. Helle-Vibeke, I have to ask you, we don't normally think of the public sector, least of all the Ministry of Taxation, as being a powerhouse for innovation. Can you tell us a bit about what you do, what you're trying to do, the kinds of innovations you've made happen?
I would like to. Normally it's very scary to think of innovation in the Ministry of Taxation, because you think that we figure out new taxes, and actually that's not what we are doing. We are trying to make the tax system better, making it more easy for the taxpayers to pay their taxes, and we do that together with the taxpayers. We do it with the citizen and we do it with the companies. So what we are trying to do is to figure out the ways to make stuff easier to understand, to figure out how do you do your tax returns or tax assessments, and how do we make tax policy easier to understand, so we have a high degree of digitalism. We have 4 bottom lines in innovation. We make it cheaper, because we have to save a lot of money in the Ministry of Taxation. And we make services better, and we try to make what the legislation wants us to do, the politicians. So we have to fulfill their wishes the first time instead of retrying all the time. And then the final one is securing democracy, to secure that people pay the taxes they shall, but no more than they shall. So that's 4 very important innovation bottom lines, which we measure all our development initiatives against. So, and we'll be doing that for a couple of years now. The difficulties, of course, is some time of measuring. It's very easy to measure how much money do you save, or how happy are people with the services you make. But to measure the effect of the policy, that's a long-term goal. So we are still struggling about getting the right assessments for that and outcome measurements for that. So that's about it.
That's a pretty impressive range of things. Could you give us a couple of examples of specific innovations that you've brought through in this framework?
Yes, one of the recent ones we just made is the Parliament just agreed on a new deduction for services done in housing or in gardens, and they wanted it to be very easy for the citizen to get this deduction. So what we did was to get some citizens to draw on the back of an envelope what is an easy solution for you, how do you want to do it, and then we refine this solution together with the citizens to find out the best and the easiest way. And actually we took that, we made like 4 prototypes of the solution before we handed it over to the IT experts to do the actual solution. And then we are going to test it again, and then it's going to be launched here in November. And we hope it's going to be a very easy solution for the citizen to use. And this way about involving the citizens and co-creation with the citizens makes very much sense, and they come up with solutions we would not have come up with ourselves. One of them is doing the deduction in the banking system, in the net banking system. So we combine paying the bill and getting your deduction in one single movement, so with one transaction. So that is one of the solutions or tasks that we did. Another one could be trying to get our letters more. We have 7,000 standard letters we're sending out to the citizens, and then we see, can they understand what it is? And we actually can make substantial innovation by and saving a lot of money by making a letter more understandable. So we try to use art, and had a lot of citizens come in and do different kinds of pieces of art. They had their own expression. How did they conceive the letter that we gave them, which was about real estate assessment? And through the dialogue with the citizen, we figured out what we actually sent of messages to the citizens and what they were understanding. And then in the workshop we worked together on how actually should we be able to communicate this letter. And the message that we wanted, so it was in respect for what they thought and they were able to understand.
Interesting.
So
So there's very much a user co-creation, a partnership. You've often used this phrase, moving from a control to a service function within taxation. What are the problems in making this happen? Because it's a great idea, and as a citizen I like that, but what are the difficulties in making these innovations happen?
The greatest difficulty is to get one's colleagues to see the possibility in what the citizen actually can offer. Because as a bureaucrat we think we know it all, and we have all the information, we have the knowledge, we are the best of thinking of taxes, and that's why we do the best solutions. So to open the minds of our colleagues has actually been one of the great barriers which have demanded that top management was behind us and said, we want to do this, we want a more holistic thinking of the way we do taxes, the way we administrate them. And then of course we have to train people, we have to build in a lot of incentives of taxation, or innovation, so they do this together with us. So that's some of the barriers, but there have been many. But culture shift and working a long time with these things has been very important.
Fascinating, yeah. So. Well, you're obviously working very much as a successful innovation manager, despite some of these big challenges you face. If I were to ask you to, from your own experience, identify some of the key lessons, what advice might you give somebody who's just been given the job of innovation manager in their organization?
Oh, be brave.
Be brave.
Have courage and a lot of patience, because it takes time to change the culture of an organization. So there's some part of just doing it, not just trying to be able to control all of it or be able to see all of the way through. Just start on what you can do and start on the small things, doing this, and then getting value back to the business. Showing your colleagues, showing your boss that it matters, that it creates value for the organization to take in the views of the citizens and the companies. And then actually what we have experienced is demand is rising for the things that we can do. People come and tell us, oh please can you teach us, can you help us with this? So from being the one who is going to ask people to work together with us, now we have to say, we can do that next year maybe. So, great, so getting started I think is the most important. And then of course you have to be able to get people educated. So you have to figure out and have a very clear language about what you're doing, and then getting people educated, getting the incentive structure in the company to fit in with, well, if you pay people to do what they used to do, then innovation gets